What's going on, guys? This is Mr. Teach66. Welcome to Mr. Teach66's movie reviews. The 80s. A wacky and silly time. When you could make a mainstream movie that was just so far out there and actually, have it be made, amazingly enough. And today's movie review is one of those kind of movies, 1986's Big Trouble in Little China. God, I love this movie. What's it about? That's a good question, because I've seen this movie so many times, and I'm not exactly 100% sure what the story is. I have a good idea, but anyway, I'll try to describe it to you as best I can. It's about this truck driver, played by Kurt Russell, named Jack Burton, pulls into San Francisco Chinatown circa 1986 to visit an old friend, have a few beers and have a good time. His buddy, whose name is, I forget his name off the top, the character's name off the top of my head, played by Dennis Dunn, has a wife that's coming in from China. And so he agrees to take him down to meet her. She's kidnapped and by some street gang, and eventually it's revealed they get involved in some kind of mystical battle with a Chinese demon who is cursed of no flesh, and they have to stop him before he becomes human again, and wackiness ensues. I love this movie so much. One of the best parts of it is the fact that Kurt Russell's character is, a truck driver, and he's, a big, burly American, don't mess with me, I can beat everyone up, macho. And it turns out, over the course of the film, that he's a complete idiot. He is absolutely useless, cannot do anything heroic at all. In fact, when he actually does do something heroic, it's usually completely by accident, or just blind, dumb luck. And his buddy there is the real action hero of the film, but Jack Burton thinks he is, but yeah, as I said, he's completely useless. The movie is hilariously dated. Synthesizer score, there's actually a soundtrack album that was released, and it was composed by the director, John Carpenter, who made a crap ton of great 80s action movies, including The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, this movie, Escape from New York, Halloween, and just to name a few. And he actually did the soundtrack, and it is worth a listen. There's a music video out there. I think if you type in Big Trouble in Little China, new soundtrack or something, you'll get it. It's the most 80s thing you'll ever see. It is awesome. Great supporting performances from Kim Cattrall in Pre-Sex and the City. She's sort of the damsel, not really damsel in distress. She's the love interest. She has some nice flirtation with Kurt Russell. Victor Wong, who plays Egg Shen, he's sort of the Yoda type character, the wise old man who knows everything. He's absolutely hysterical. The movie is just, the plot is very convoluted. I don't exactly know what's going on, but the point is that it's all shot from Kurt Russell's perspective, and he really has no idea what's going on either, which I love about this movie, because really, if you were to get involved in this, mystical battle, you really wouldn't know what's going on either. It'd be like, I have a couple friends who are into sort of occult type stuff, and it'd be like if they sat me down and tried to explain, everything about it to me in 10 minutes. I'm not going to get it. There's just no way. There's just no way in hell I'm going to get all this. And, I'll be like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And things like that. So, that's actually a very realistic touch this movie has, The dialogue goes back and forth between these different characters, between the Chinese characters, and they know what they're talking about. And Jack Burton is just sort of like, what is going on? What are you talking about? I have no freaking clue. So that's probably one of my favorite aspects of this movie. The action scenes are pretty well shot. This is the 80s, so, Kung Fu cinema was around, but Americans really didn't know that much about it, which I think contributed to its flopping at the box office, which also the just sheer fact that it's so damn weird. Overall, yeah, this movie is the shit. If you like wacky sort of fantasy 80s action movies, this one is definitely worth checking out. Good performances. John Carpenter does a very good job with the action scenes. They're very well shot. They're very fluid camera work. Some great stunt work. I think a vast majority of the performers were martial artists, which obviously helps. Though there is one part where there's a street gang fight, and it's between two Chinese street gangs. There's a white guy right in the middle of it. I swear, I don't know where this guy came from, but wow, it is so obviously a white guy. I don't know if he's made up to look Chinese. If he is Chinese, he's the whitest looking Chinese guy I've ever seen. It's very jarring and out of place. But overall, yes, absolutely should see this movie if you like wacky 80s action movies. That's about all I got for this week's. Thank you everyone for staying with me. I'm, still getting used to this, but this is Mr. TH66 signing off, and see you next time.